So I'm here at the Misrepresentation Evening presented by the Sauder School of Business, and I'm here with BobElton, the former CEO of BC Hydro, and a company that has fed my family for years, so I'm grateful for the jobs that my father and my husband now has had over in the past. So I really appreciate you being courageous enough to not only be a part of this, but to be willing to talk with me about your perspective from a corporate perspective, a large corporation, and seeing and knowing these challenges that you've probably experienced or seen or witnessed. Can you tell me a little bit about your values and your awareness of that sort of glass ceiling? Was it ever something you were aware of within your organization?
Oh, sure. I mean, BC Hydro is a company, traditionally you would probably see about 10% of the top leadership might be women, and typically in support roles like finance and HR. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but not typically in the operations. So while I was there, the management team it ended up 50-50, and out of the top 100 people in the company, about 40 of them are women. So,
wow.
So yeah, we made quite a few changes. So yes, I'm very aware of the issue. I think it's very important.
And how was that received? Did you have any pushback in trying to bring that balance?
Yeah, I think yes, we had pushback. I think the key thing was we were trying to improve the leadership in the company. There were various people retiring. There were a number of people who were very good technically, but maybe weren't strong on leadership. So what we looked for was to set up leadership competencies that were clearly okay for men and women. And we found that we managed to find some great men and women to fill those positions. So the quality of leadership there was very strong, as we went on. And so there was less pushback about that.
And do you feel that there was a dynamic shift in the atmosphere? Could you see a palpable change within your organization by balancing that out?
Sure. I mean, not immediately and not everywhere. I don't want to overstate it. When men and women work together, they have different conversations than when it's just men. I don't know about when it's just women, but I know that you just have a different approach to things like risk, safety. And even when it comes to marketing, Power Smart was a big part of what we did. Well, who makes the decisions in the house around renovations, around buying appliances? Women are very involved in those decisions. So you'd expect it would be logical to have a team that was balanced, and that's what we had.
So how did you become this evolved male? And were you always an evolved man?
I'm not sure whether you'd have to ask my wife whether I'm really truly evolved. I don't know. It's always been important to me. When I first joined PricewaterhouseCoopers a long time ago, this was in Manchester, England, there was a small group of us joined, and one of them was the first woman who'd ever worked in that office.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not that long ago, right? It's still in my lifetime. And so I remember, she and I were friends, and I remember seeing what she went through as the first woman there, and I suppose that was probably one of those things that carried with me. So, yeah.
You became aware of that. And I think women do impact their husbands in relationships.
Yeah.
If that's your preference for relationship, they do have an influence. It's kind of hard. You got to make your wife happy, and if she's a smart woman, she's going to make you listen to changes.
Well, I think it's more than that. I mean, so one specific thing that where my wife and I are different is that wherever we've lived, she has made friends and built community for me, really, whereas I am probably a bit more standoffish, a bit more retiring by nature. So I'm not saying that all women are like that,
right.
But within a company, again, you want people to collaborate and work with each other. Again, I'm not saying that women are all better than all men, but having women around in a large number does help.
Yeah. So we were sent by Denise an interesting article just recently in the Globe and Mail by the former chief economist from Bank of Montreal, who's now retired. She had some really heavy-duty statements that she made, which I was quite surprised about how strong she was in the statements that she made.
Yeah.
And we can certainly put up the link to the article on our website when we do the blog. But what is your reaction or response? I mean, I thought that was pretty heavy. That's some heavy-duty testosterone. She blames the entire economic fall in 2000 and 2008 and 2009 based on testosterone and driven people. My husband says it's greed, not testosterone. I'd love to know your thoughts, first of all, on how you felt when you read, as a man, when you read what she wrote. Did you have a reaction to it?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Sherry Cooper will make strong statements, so the tone of it didn't surprise me. So the comment about testosterone on trading floors, I've heard that before. There's actually a woman researching at UBC who I think has done some research in that. I'm pretty sure it's a fact that there actually are higher levels of testosterone in traders than there are in some other males in the population. Certainly there's something about the atmosphere of those financial institutions at the time that was rather odd, and it included excessive self-confidence. So yeah, I think she said if the world was full of women traders, it would have been different. I think if there was a balance, I think it would have been different. I do think that.
Do you think that, okay, so we've addressed the testosterone, set that aside. Do you think there's a greed factor that contributed to that? Or do you think it was clearly these testosterone-driven individuals? I mean, I found her statement limiting somewhat.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of things, right? There was a greed factor, there was a lack of regulation. There have been a lot of things leading up to that. And so I think she was just talking about the worst excesses of it.
Right.
And again, trading is only one of the things that led to the financial crashes. But there was a certain pattern of overconfidence. And so I think if you look at the way that men and women, again, working together, there are differences in the way we look at risks sometimes, and I've observed that. So I think it's certainly a provocative, but a statement it needs listening to.
So if you had a magic wand and you had control of the world and you had a chance to make a difference in the way that this glass ceiling was dealt with, what would you do?
It's a pretty tough question, and I mean a very, very long conversation.
It is.
So if we agree that, again, having different people working together is better than not, then it's important. And then we should, instead of waiting for women to change and waiting for them to fix themselves, we should recognize that we are different and we should change the way we work. So we should make the workplace a place where you can come into a career, come out of a career, look after your aging parents, because it isn't just children, right? Aging parents, it's almost a bigger issue. Nobody wants their son looking after them when they're old.
It's true.
We all want our daughters or our daughters-in-law. So therefore, if we expect women to be an important part of the workplace, we have to change the workplace, and that means being flexible. Women have to be flexible. I mean, men and women have to be flexible too, right? It's not a question of looking at rules and policy and saying, I need this. It's a question of saying, okay, I'm good at what I do. We need to work together to find a solution. I think good employers can do that, and good leaders can do that. That's what I'd like to see more of.
And I think that is the society is demanding it. I think there is no other choice now. So now you have made a great impact in business in this province and done well. Is there something that you're the most proud of as you are now changing the direction of your life into a different career? Is there something that you're most proud of when you look back on your career? And humbly speaking, because obviously you were a man of influence and you set about to be honorable towards the task that you were given. What is it that you would say, this is my legacy, I'm proud of that?
First of all, you're sounding like it's a Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm still here, right? So
you know what the Lifetime Achievement Award is? A bottle of wine.
Yeah, I'm still yes. doing stuff, I hope.
Jodie Foster on the Golden Globes.
That's right. I saw that. Yeah. So what I believe that I've tried to do is particularly in leadership, is lead through values and help people develop in that way and recognize that people are different. So that is the thing I'm most proud of. It's when I look at people that I work with, or I coached soccer for 25 years, the people that I coach soccer, those kinds of things, it's not just business. That's the thing that I'm the most proud of. Yeah.
That's awesome. And where are you, what are you doing today? What are you using all this magnificent skill sets and experience?
So in order of priority, we have 2 grandchildren. So awesome. that's the best role that I've ever had. Other things, I'm on the board of the Minerva Foundation for BC Women, which is involved in this event tonight. I'm currently CFO at Van City Credit Union.
Awesome.
I'm teaching at UBC. I'm on 2 or 3 other boards, and I'm involved with a CICA Sustainability Advisory Board. So I'm doing a lot of different things and mentoring various people. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for your contribution to our province, because it has made a difference in the daily life of everybody, the changes that you've implemented, whether it's been, in our everyday living and the how we receive our electricity and our power in our homes, to the administration that you have overseen to create a difference in the workplace for women. So thank you so much for your contribution.
Very nice of you to say that. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
And we'll hear more on the panel in just a little bit on misrepresentation here at UBC in the Sauder School of Business.